That number just goes right on up. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to give it a second for everybody else to join that was in the waiting room, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for taking the time out tonight to be with us. I give it about 30 seconds, let everybody just kind of join in here, then we'll get rolling. All right, that's looking pretty good to me. So I would like to go ahead and say a huge welcome to you all and a huge thank you for taking time out on a Tuesday. No football going on tonight, unless you're a MAC conference fan, then you might have a game or two. But otherwise, many of you have full-time jobs. Many of you, if you're active duty or you work in law enforcement or first responders, you have crazy schedules going on. So again, we appreciate your time to devote to us tonight. My name is Steve Olson, so I'm one of the program managers along with Amber and Chrissy and Michael S. that are with us here tonight. We've been with the CWCT program for 3 years now, almost four, and we really enjoy what we do. I work full-time at UNC Charlotte as a system admin and part-time with this program through Purdue Northwest. And I was in the Army, and then I transitioned, and now I'm academic working in higher ed, but I really have a passion for IT and cyber, and I'm really excited for you all to be a part of this program. We've been doing this for a few years. We feel as though that this is not just a good deal. Obviously, this is a free program for you all, and we cover some of your certificate vouchers, but based on the last few years, this is a great preparatory program to make sure you actually pass the certs in whatever pathway you've chosen. Tonight, we have a lot to cover. If you need to go eat your dinner, get a drink, please do so. We just have a lot of information. Now, when Chrissy starts talking, I always say this at orientations, when Chrissy Duncan starts talking, pay attention. Because when Chrissy's talking, she's going to talk about accessing your lectures, accessing my Ivy, and all of these things. So if you're looking at the screen right now, you'll see that we've got our big logo and then all of our colleges. If you're not familiar with consortiums, we are a federal consortium. So the NSA, through the National Center of Academic Excellence in Cybersecurity, the NCAEC, this is all big acronyms to say the DoD funds this program. And we're a bunch of colleges that work together to offer this programming, hire instructors, and all that. What I think is really cool about that is we get to source instructors from all of our universities, and we also have staff members from all our universities that help to make this program great, but also to help y'all with networking and with all the other things that come along with getting any sort of non-degree like this, non-degree certificate program. And we're going to talk about that later with our career fairs and our fireside chats and our other career readiness workshops that we do, that we're hoping to do to be able to provide you all the resources you need to not just do our program and succeed. We want you to get a job. Hopefully that pays really well. So I'm going to go over the agenda very briefly because I don't have too much time. And as Chrissy and Amber know, they have to give me a specific amount of time. Otherwise, I will talk forever. So tonight, after I get done blabbing, we're going to do a program overview and talk a little bit about our support, but also our policies about when you need to have stuff done within the first couple of weeks, when we as program managers are going to start bugging you if you haven't turned in a paper or an assignment. This program is free, but we will be on you to make sure that you're doing your work. And that's benefits both of us because we want to make sure that we're giving seats to people who are serious about the program, and we want to make sure you succeed. So make sure you tune into that. We've got most, if not the majority, maybe all of our instructors here tonight, and you'll be able to meet our faculty. And again, you see Chrissy's name there. When you see Chrissy's name anywhere, that's like 110%, paying attention. So my Ivy learned my Ivy account on Zoom right there. That's your meat and potatoes for making sure that this program is something you can access. So Chrissy's going to do a bit of that. This is all recorded, so if you need to go back and see what Chrissy said, you're more than welcome to. Our PIs, our principal investigators, that's the faculty that are part of this grants formation. They're going to each talk about the three pathways that we offer with this program: digital forensics, systems administration, and AI. I'm going to follow up at the very end, talk a little bit about our career fairs that we hold and our next fireside chat that we'll be hosting. And in general, my job is just to make sure that we provide you all with external resources. Sometimes that's stuff you attend on Zoom, and other times that's something you just shoot us an email with because you're interested in a company we might partner with or an organization that we can help to provide that middle ground to get you where you need to be. And then Amber will go ahead and wrap us up. So the last thing I just want to say before I turn it on over to Chrissy is as many of you already know, and soon will if you don't already, LinkedIn is probably the best tool in this field in terms of not only networking, but actually getting your job. So I'm going to put my LinkedIn in the chat. I am absolutely not a guru, but I've been doing this for a few years and have helped other folks in the program to connect them with recruiters and companies that we may know, or at least an external resource that may help, especially in the veteran space. To conclude, and I say this at all of our orientations, cyber is a difficult field, but it's a quick one to get into. And that kind of creates a dichotomy there. But our program is accelerated. So it is a very fast way to get into an industry that pays well, that has a lot of openings, in upwards of 700,000 in the US right now. However, this program can be difficult and challenging at times, but it's very doable and we have very good retention rates. So I want you all to understand that this program is a great way to break into this industry. Our curriculum and our content is excellent, but make sure you're willing to give up that time during your week to knock this out, because especially those vouchers that you're going to get to take these third-party certificates, that's really what you want to be passing. For those of you that are military or law enforcement and first responders, we appreciate your service. Many of us have our prior service. We have a very large influence on this program in that space, and know that you're among good company. And a lot of your compatriots in this program are also prior service or law enforcement. If you are not from the military, most of you are, or if you're not from first responders, thank you also for your participation in this program. Our federal guidelines allow us to take certain non-military, and we really appreciate you all being able to be here as well. So without further ado, again, my name's Steve Olson. Please add me on LinkedIn. I'll put my email in the chat as well. I'm happy to help you all out with whatever you need. I'm mostly a talking head, but I've been doing this a while, and I'd like to help you all with resumes, career readiness, interview preparation, networking, whatever you need. I'm going to go ahead and shut up for the next hour or so. Chrissy, go ahead and take it away with the program overview and everything else. Again, thank you all for coming, and welcome to CWCT.
Thanks, Steve. If you go ahead and stop sharing your screen so I can share mine. Thank you. All right. So my name is Chrissy Duncan. I am the program manager associated with Ivy Tech Community College. Many of you have received emails from me throughout your application process. So now you can finally put a face with a name, because again, you've gotten a lot of emails from me, so that's good. So what I am going to talk about in this next half hour is going to be a basic program overview. There's going to be a lot of information in this piece and the next piece I will do. Again, this will be recorded. It will be emailed to you by Amber. Typically give us until like Friday, end of the day, to do so. And then this PowerPoint that I am presenting to you right now will also be included in that, because we know that the writing may be a little small for you, especially if you're on your phone. There are going to be some links in here that can be helpful for you to go to. So this PowerPoint will be sent to you as well. Again, that should all be to you by Friday. So I'm going to talk about basic stuff for the CWCT program. First of all, our CWCT program offers 3 training paths. You have chosen one of those, either the artificial intelligence, the digital forensics, or the system administration training path. Think of these as concentration areas. They're all cybersecurity related. They just have different focus areas. So you're able to choose one of them, and you did choose one of them to be admitted under. Within your education with us, you are going to take 6 non-credit college level courses for your training path. And I realize I forgot to take one part of that where it says dependent on program extension. We are now in a program extension, so that was a rollover from last orientation that I forgot to take out. Our current program goes till 2025, so you should have plenty of time to finish all 6 of your courses. So there are 2 key pieces to that. Number one, these are non-credit courses. Meaning you do not get college credit for them. Now, can you transfer them into college credit? That's going to depend on the institution that you would try to transfer it to if you want to go on to get a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, so on and so forth. The other piece of this is that even though these are non-credit courses, we are a workforce training program, so our training is the key there. But they are college level, meaning they are not going to be easy. They're going to take work. They're going to take a time commitment. So that is something you need to keep in mind. All of our courses are offered through live virtual lectures, 6 hours per week. They are 2 days a week, 3 hours each. We know all our participants are based all over the world, really. We have active duty military overseas. We've got people in California, on the East Coast. You guys are everywhere. So, and then as well as, especially with like our first responders and law enforcement, you guys may work odd shift work that might not always allow you to be at the live lecture. Because of this, all of our lectures are recorded for students who take the classes who cannot attend live. So all of you should have gotten your registration emails by now. If you have not responded to your registration, you need to do so as soon as possible. That would have gone to your Ivy Tech email. It may have gone to your spam if you did not see it in your inbox. But you would have seen certain days and times that the courses are. If you cannot attend those days and times, which are always listed in Central Time because it's based out of the Ivy Tech system, which in our region is in the Central Time Zone. If you cannot attend live, they are recorded, and I will talk about how you can find those recordings in my second speech. We have no in-person offerings. Again, our people are from all over the world. The 4 consortium universities are based in different parts of the US. We don't have where you can go onto campus and take these classes. Everything is online and virtual. That is an important key to this program. So you're going to take 6 courses. Maybe less if you have some of the certifications already. I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But you're going to take 1 to 2 classes per 8-week session. So you're going to have 8 weeks of instructional period where you're going to take 1 to 2 courses. And then typically you're going to have a 2-week break. And then you're going to take another 1 or 2 courses in an 8 weeks, and then you're going to have a 2-week break. The only time this break is longer than 2 weeks is during the holiday season in December, but most of the time it's going to be 2 weeks. So you're going to take 6 courses, 1 to 2 courses over a series of 8-week sessions. And I will show you the sessions here in a few slides. Each of the courses you take may lead to an industry recognized certification. Each path, while it has 6 classes, 4 to 5 of these classes are actually going to lead and prepare you for an industry recognized certification. For example, the A+ class is going to prepare you for a CompTIA A+ certification, so on and so forth. The PIs will talk about the courses in more detail and the certifications that kind of come out of those classes. Now, some of you may have watched previous orientations. Some of you may be talking to current students who have been in the program, okay? We are under an extension now for this program and do not have as much funding as we did when we first started. That means there are some changes in our program. If you've been talking to people who have already been in the program, there may be some changes to what they are telling you. Please take what other students tell you about our program with a grain of salt, because the information may have changed. If ever in doubt, contact us and we can clarify things for you. One of the big changes to our program is we are now only able to guarantee one certification voucher to you. That is covered by, we cover the cost of one certification voucher guaranteed. It used to be 3. That's one of the big changes, where you were guaranteed 3. Now you are only guaranteed 1. Now you can still request up to 2 additional vouchers that can be provided to you as long as we have funding available. So you might still be able to get 3 vouchers as long as we have money to cover it. But you are guaranteed 1 voucher for this program, okay? Once you have completed all 6 of your courses, or however many courses you need to complete if you get waivers, you will receive a certificate of completion from the program once we have verified you have completed all those courses or have been given the appropriate waivers, okay? So this program leads to a certificate of completion for your track of study. It does not lead to a bachelor's degree or anything like that, but you will get a certificate of completion from the National Centers of Academic Excellence and the 4 consortium universities. Okay. As I've already mentioned, you were admitted under one track of study, either at System Admin, AI, Digital Forensics, okay? You must complete all 6 of your courses within your track to complete the program. You must follow the CWCT curriculum, okay? In your registration emails, you were provided a link to your particular track of study website that lists the 6 courses you need to take and in what order you need to take them. You cannot pick and choose which courses you want to or do not want to take. You need to follow that curriculum, okay? So you can't come to me and say, I want to take Security Plus this session. You need the A+ prerequisite first before you can do so, okay? So you need to follow the curriculum as it's provided to you. It's also at the very end of your registration emails after my signature, okay? You must follow the established prerequisites. You cannot skip prerequisites unless you have a waiver based on the appropriate certification, okay? So again, you can't come to me and say, I want to take Security Plus if you haven't taken the A+ class or have the A+ certification, okay? Waivers, I've mentioned this a couple times, might be provided to you if you already have the associated certification for the class. So for example, you already have CompTIA A+. As long as your certification is not expired, you would get a waiver for the A+ course, okay? Those waivers happen automatically as long as we have that certification on file. If we do not have the certification on file, we will request it from you and tell you how you can provide it to us. A lot of you already provided those to us during your application process. Okay, so nothing extra you need to do for waivers. That's automatically done in the session in which you would be taking that class. So for example, Security Plus does not happen until later. We will not review your Security Plus certification for a waiver until you're scheduled to be taking that class, okay? That is because we need to make sure the expiration date is not expired before that particular session starts, okay? You get 3 attempts to complete each course in your track of study, okay? We know things happen, okay? Life happens, work happens, military obligations happen. We know things happen. We need to be kept aware of things, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit when I talk specifically about participation. But because we know things happen, That is why we give you 3 attempts at a class. If you cannot complete a class in 3 attempts, you are removed from the program. Okay. We like to give you guys chances, but we can only give you so many chances because we only have so much funding. We need to be able to open up spots for people who can complete courses if a particular participant cannot. Okay. Now, this is a question I always get asked. Please pay attention to this because I know it's going to come up in the chat or be asked at some point. Okay. We always get the question, I want to take a class that's not in my track of study. I'm in the system admin track and I really want to take digital forensics investigation. Can I do that? The answer is maybe. Okay. You might be able to take additional courses outside of your track of study if there is room available in the course. Okay. Those who need that class first are given the opportunity to take it. Then, if there's 5 spots left, we can make that available to students who might want to take it as an additional course. We can never, ever guarantee that you will be provided to take additional courses. So if you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to eventually take digital forensics investigation, even though I'm in system admin, we cannot guarantee that that is going to happen. Okay. If you are ever eligible to request an additional class, you will be notified of that as well as the directions to do that during the registration process. Okay. All right. So I've mentioned the 3 training paths: artificial intelligence, digital forensics, and system admin. The PIs are going to go into much more detail on those later on. So this is just kind of a brief overview. Okay. I've already mentioned you choose one. That's it. Okay. And then I've already mentioned that if there are spaces and courses outside of your track of study, you might be able to take them if there's room. Okay. Now, if you are able to take additional courses, let's say there's room, you've requested it, we can offer it to you. The CWCT program will still cover the cost of the class itself. Okay. Now, if you've already used all of your certifications, we will not provide any additional vouchers. 3 is all you get. Well, 1 is definitely all you get. Again, with the possibility of up to 3, you cannot get more than 3 vouchers. Even if you take every single class for every single track of study, let's say for some miracle, you're able to take every class because it becomes available. 3 certification vouchers. That's all you get. Okay. We will cover the cost of the actual class itself, though. Okay. Again, we cannot guarantee space in additional courses, or if you're trying to get additional tracks of study after you have completed yours, we cannot guarantee a 2nd or 3rd track of study. Okay. You get 1 track of study guaranteed, 1 certification voucher guaranteed, possibly an additional 2 more on top of that. Okay. Participation. This is so very important because it never fails that we have to drop students who are not doing what they're supposed to be doing in class. Okay. Class participation is expected in this program. Okay. You need to participate in class to remain enrolled in the program. Okay. What is participation? Participation is you completing assignments, quizzes, labs, homework, discussion boards, whatever the assignments may be, each week of your assigned classes. This is not a self-paced course where you can wait until week 8 and do 8 weeks worth of work in week 8. That's not the way this program works. Okay. You need to be doing assignments every week. Now, again, we know you may not be able to attend the live lecture and have to watch the recordings. We understand that. That's why that is not a participation requirement. Attending class is not the requirement. Submitting your assignments every week is the requirement for participation. Okay. If you cannot submit assignments in a week, you need to reach out to your instructor. I apologize. To discuss late assignments. Typically, if you can't submit the assignments and you've at least talked with your instructor, we know you are still planning on completing the course. You're not just disappearing off the face of the earth. So if you can't submit your assignments by the due date that week, you need to reach out to your instructors. Okay. We will check participation every 2 weeks. Okay. And then if you are not participating by submitting those assignments, your program manager will reach out to you and discuss what's going on. Okay. You will be given a date that you need to get something submitted by. And if you do not submit something, even if the instructor says, yeah, you have until the very last day to submit assignments, if you do not submit assignments by the date that we tell you, you will be dropped from the class for non-participation, and it will count as your one attempt for that class. Okay. So you could be removed from the course if you are not submitting and completing your weekly work. Okay. Now, again, this is not a part of participation, but you need to either be attending your live Zoom lectures or watching the recordings. Okay. Again, instructors take attendance, but it is not for a grade. It is strictly for our data purposes to see how are those who are attending live lectures doing in the class compared to those who are watching the recordings. Okay. So yes, attendance is taken. It is not counted in your grade, and you are not expected to attend live if you cannot. We highly recommend it, but we know not everybody can. But if you're not attending those live lectures, you need to be watching those recordings. Okay. Time commitment is always a huge part of this program, and it never fails that we have a large number of our students who drop down from 2 classes to 1. They withdraw from the class, making it count as one of their attempts because they can't do the time commitment. You have 6 hours of lecture each week. Okay. Then you can have a potential of 12 hours or more per week for one course. So if you are taking 2 courses, you are going to have, I think it's 36 hours devoted to this program. That's a full-time job. Okay. On top of the full-time job, many of you are already probably working. Okay. If you are in 2 classes and you cannot dedicate 36 hours a week, we highly recommend that you drop from 2 classes down to 1, at least your first session until you can get into the swing of things. Because you don't want to have to withdraw or be dropped for non-participation because you can't dedicate the time. Okay. It's really important. If you do need to drop down from 2 classes to 1, send me an email and we can get that processed for you. Okay. It's really important not to overcommit yourself and take more classes that you can manage with work, family, health, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. It is not a requirement to take 2 courses. You can only take 1 course if that's what you can handle. Okay. If you can only take 1, then please just take 1. We want you to be successful in this program. Okay. So I mentioned earlier, you're going to be taking 1 to 2 classes in an 8-week session. These are the remaining training sessions for our program. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, we have 9 sessions left to complete 6 classes. Okay. Plenty of time for you to complete the program. Even if you have to retake a class because something came up, you had to withdraw, you happen to be dropped for non-participation, something came up that you have to sit out a session, etc. Okay. So we have 9 sessions remaining for this program. Okay. Continuation of this program beyond this last regular session 20 in June of 25. We do not know what our program and funding looks like after that date yet. Obviously, we're always going to trying to be getting new funding to keep the program going. But with it being a grant funded program, we are limited to what kind of funding is available to us. Okay. So as of right now, June of 25 is our last session. Okay. You are able to take a break, or as we call deferring, up to 3 sessions in a row. Okay. If you defer for 3 sessions in a row and then you do not register in that 4th one, you are removed from the program for inactivity. Okay. So it's really important that if you are starting this, you you can finish it. Okay. Again, we don't want somebody to keep taking up a spot, taking up a spot, taking up a spot who never plans to complete when that spot could have gone to somebody else. We have had over 10,000 applications for this program. Okay. We have people who want in it who will finish it. Okay. So what are the covered costs? Okay. People hear the word free and they think there's got to be a catch. Okay. So here is what is covered by our program. First of all, we are a grant funded program, which means there's no financial aid you have to deal with. There's no tuition you have to deal with, nothing like that. Okay. Pretty much everything, as long as you get through it, take everything one time, everything's going to be covered by the grant for that covers this program. So what are the covered costs that the grant covers? First, the English, math, and IT assessments that you took, that was all covered by the cost of the grant. Okay. This included if you had to take any of the additional study paths, learning modules, training modules, if you happen to get tutoring, either through Ivy Tech's tutoring center for the English and math, or if you happen to get tutoring through our support team for the IT part, that was all covered. It was at no cost to you. Okay. I've already mentioned we cover the test fees for 1 certification voucher guaranteed, as well as potentially 2 more for a total of 3 if funding is available. Okay. This is the fees of the actual test. Okay. If there are any additional proctoring fees or fees charged by testing sites, you may have to cover those with the testing site itself. We have not heard of anybody needing to do this in our 3 years of doing this, so I don't think that's an issue, but we do need to say that it's the fee part that we cover for the certification vouchers. Okay. We also cover the cost of the instructors to provide you with your courses. Okay. So the courses that you take with your live, virtual faculty instruction is all covered by the cost of this program. Again, your lectures are recorded for those who cannot attend live. It covers the cost of our cybersecurity support analysts. Please write down this email address, cwct-support@ivytech.edu. Okay. Those support analysts might be able to provide tutoring for courses that you might be struggling with. They might be able to provide technical support if you're having issues logging into one of your course resources. They are the ones who maintain and develop the virtual machines that you are going to be using. So that it's a really important email address to use, especially for classes where you're using NDG NetLab or NDG NetLab 2. They're the ones who maintain that. Cisco Netacad, which you'll be using in some courses, your instructor tends to be the contact for that. So the technical assistance you might need, depending on what it is, it's either going to be the support team or your instructor, but that support team is there covered by the cost of our grant. Okay. Any of the online books and materials that are provided to you through the class are covered by the course. I think we really only have one book per se, and that's for the ethical hacking class. Everything else is run through online material that's provided to you, either through Cisco Netacad, NetLab, things like that. And it's a virtual version of the book. If you want a hard copy, which honestly I don't even know if a hard copy exists, you would be responsible for paying for that hard copy. Okay. There is one exception to this. If you have to retake, if you are in the digital forensics or system admin track, that you have to take the Linux class, or if you're taking Linux as an additional course, your access code for this class is only covered one time by the CWCT program. If you have to retake Linux because you withdrew from it, because you were dropped for non-participation, when you retake it, you as the student will be required to pay, I believe it's $29.95 at the right now. Okay, could always go up. So you will be required to pay the $30 to get a new access code that is linked to the new course that you will have to take. So that's the only exception of a course material not being covered. If you take the course the first time and pass it, you're good to go. This is only in the case if you have to retake the class. I've already talked about the support, and I think this is my last piece. And I know I have about like a minute left, so I'll be finishing up here very shortly. I've already talked about the cyber security support analyst. So this also goes with what is offered to you as a CWCT student as a part of the grant. Okay. I've already talked about the support analysts. That remains the same. Okay. Some courses will have graduate assistants from one of our universities that are in that course that might be able to assist with some tutoring or support as well. So that is support that is offered to you. Each of you are assigned to a program manager. It's either going to be myself, Amber Schuler, or Fatima from University of North Carolina, Charlotte. While Steve is a program manager, he doesn't have any assigned students to him, but you should have been given several emails that list who your assigned program manager is. We are there to support you, okay? If something is going on, you need to withdraw from a class, you need some kind of assistance, please contact your program manager. Your instructors are there to support you. If something's going on, please, your instructor should actually be your first person you go to. I call this support because, again, we know life happens. Again, you get 3 attempts to complete each course, okay? Because we know life happens, okay? And I'm very close to being done. And I also talked about being able to defer or sit out for up to 3 sessions. Okay, that is available to you. Steve is going to talk a little bit about our fireside chats and career fairs. We do not offer direct employee placement. Okay. It's just not a part of our program. However, we do provide to you workshops for networking, for job searching, resume writing, things like that, that you can attend. You just have to make sure you are utilizing what you're learning in there. We will also provide to you career fairs where we do have employers that come in. Even if they don't have jobs available, they talk about networking and cybersecurity as a field as a whole, those kinds of things. So that's all the support that we have for you. If you just use it, please use it. We're here, okay? That is all I have for this part. Amber, I believe, were there any questions that did not get answered in the chat?
Nope, you did great. Everything got answered.
All right, then it's over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Chrissy. So this is one of my favorite parts of tonight's session. is we have a bunch of our instructors that joined us tonight, and I'm going to go through and introduce them to you. So here's a chance for you to learn a little bit about your course before it starts. Your instructors will talk a little bit about their background, and if you have any questions for them, please post it in chat. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the A+ course. Everybody's got to take an A+ course, no matter your track. And we have all of our A+ instructors joining us tonight. So I'm going to start with our Tuesday, Thursday instructors. So we've got Dima and Professor Majid on tonight. Dima, would you like to go first and introduce yourself?
Sure, absolutely. Hello, everyone. I'm Dima Yassin. I'm going to be your instructor for the A+ course on Tuesday and Thursday nights. We're going to be covering the hardware and the software. Asking questions is a key. If you can attend, please make sure to watch the recording and do the labs. And we're here for you to answer any questions, to offer any help. Please don't hesitate to email or maybe stick around after class to ask questions. As I said, we're here for you.
Thank you so
much. And I look
much.
forward to meeting all of you.
Yeah, we have a large group on tonight. It's great to see. And then our other Tuesday and Thursday evening instructor is Professor Majid. Majid, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Majid Mohseni. I have been doing this A+ for a while right now. I am an instructor in the Ivy Tech. I've been in education for over 25 years. So I have gone through all these computer courses and so many other things with lots of experience with the engineering as a background. I have had so much fun with the students with this A+ exam class course all the time. And I would like to meet with all of you, anybody is in my class, online, live, at least for the first time, to know each other, because this time we will be able to talk about the details. We definitely want to know that who wants to be in live chat, and if you are not, then we can work it out. But please make sure everybody is going to be online on Tuesday night, even though if you have a few minutes that you can get in here, because we need to know each other. And that is going to be a lot of fun that we are going to have with lots of information. So looking forward to seeing you guys in there. If you have any questions, you got my email. I will put it in the syllabus. You will, before the class starts, you will be able to ask me any questions, let me know what's going on. Looking forward to seeing you all.
Thank you so much. And then for our Monday and Wednesday nights, these are very popular sections. So those of you who lucked out and were able to get in before it closed, you're going to have Alma Scott as one of your instructors. Alma, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Alma Scott, and I'll be teaching the A+ class. This is my second year of teaching. This is a wonderful class. We will be covering hardware and software. We'll also cover things like security and networking and virtualization and mobile devices. We do have lecture. We have some of you as students, this will be a review for you, okay? This class can accommodate that. For others of you, this may be the first time that you're learning about CPUs and things like that. So we can handle it all. So we'll have lecture, we'll have labs, we'll have websites, IT-related websites where we'll go and do exercises. We'll also have breakout rooms in our sessions where you get a chance to work with each other. And as you'll find that even though our instructors were teaching different classes, we also have other certifications. I'm very much into the cyber as well. And like I said, you'll find our instructors have other areas of expertise, but it's a really great class and looking forward to seeing you guys Monday night. Thank you.
Thank you, Alma. And then the other Monday, Wednesday evening instructor is Constance. Constance, are you here? I think I saw you pop in.
Yeah, I'm
Yep,
here.
there you are.
So yes, I will be teaching one of the sections. I've taught probably 9. This, I think, is maybe my 9th cohort now. I just recently received my doctorate, so I have a doctorate in IT and information technology with a digital forensics focus. I don't teach digital forensics right now, but we'll probably hit it a little bit during the classes, just so I can bring in a little forward thinking knowledge there of what you might want to do. But just like Alma said, yeah, we focus mostly on hardware and software, and we start at the beginning. So no matter where you're coming into the class from, whether you have background in IT or you don't, we'll get everybody up to the same place. So I look forward to meeting you all on Monday and Wednesday nights. As Chrissy was saying, it's not required that you come to the class, but it is highly recommended that if you're able to attend, to be there, because then you will be as informed as you possibly can be. And the way we learn until we have chips implanted in our brains is repetition. So we have to hear it, read it, do it, and that helps to solidify the information within our self, so that we can do it later on when we leave. So look forward to meeting you all.
Thank you, Constance. Congratulations on that degree. That's huge.
Thank you. Yes, I don't recommend it unless you want to be crazy or something, but no, it's worth it. It was a long haul, but yeah, thank you.
Yes, yes. So those of you who are in system admin and digital forensics track, the other beginning course that you all are going to be taking is Linux. And I saw that we have Dr. McGilligan popped in, if I saw right.
Yes. Yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
I'll go on video here.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks. Yeah. So biomycology. I'll cover for Monday. Was it Monday, Wednesday? Linux class. So for those that are taking Linux at that time, we're covering the Linux Plus side of the house. So basically anything Linux. So starting with the basics. So for those that know the basics, well, we're going to learn that anyway. And many of you who don't know it, will learn it. And then we'll go into the more advanced side as well. So covering the entire platform in about 8 weeks. So again, Linux, I guess I don't see Bill Warden here. So he always mentions Linux is everywhere. So which is true. Actually in Azure, it's 9 out of 10 virtual machines run Linux, so as opposed to Windows. So anyhow, hopefully everyone enjoys it and learns something new from it. And then you'll take that Linux and use those skills for cybersecurity, AI, what have you, into the other sides of the platform. But first, we'll learn the basics here. Anyway, thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Yep, you were right. Monday, Wednesday evenings. And then the other instructor for Monday, Wednesday evenings is Jeremy. And I don't believe Jeremy was able to join us tonight. So, but Bill got us started with some great tips. And then the other Bill also isn't able to join us tonight. He teaches the Tuesday and Thursday section. But I did see Herman popped in at like the perfect time. And Herman teaches a section on Tuesday and Thursday night this coming session. Herman, would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, maybe he didn't. Maybe he got pumped off. Sometimes he pops up as admin. Okay, we'll come back if Herman comes back. He may have got bumped out. All right. And then those of you who are on the AI track, so you would have A+ and Python. And I don't believe the Python instructor, Dave Lieberman, was able to join us tonight. I'll give him a second just in case.
I am here.
Yay! Thank you.
And bad news for you, I have slides. Can I show my slides?
Absolutely. You
I
should be
promise
able
to
to.
be fast. I know you have to grin and bear it.
That's okay. This is giving Herman some time to come back in.
Okay, well then that works out. All right, do we see a PowerPoint?
Yep, we do.
Okay, awesome. So I'm David Lieberman. I'm teaching the Python class. I'm a software small business owner in Silicon Valley. I'm a software developer by profession. I love to write code, and I love to share it with the students that are in this program. I've had a great time and been doing it now for what, 1.5 years, I think. And it's just a privilege to be here. So why Python? Why is Python important? Why aren't we teaching something else? It's popular. It's been around a long time. It's got this huge base of tribal knowledge out there. And I'm going to show you an example of this. So I have a client that came to us just a month ago, and they wanted to calculate this thing called a shock response spectrum. And this is what NASA does in order to figure out if satellites and spacecraft are going to fly apart if they're launched because they vibrate. So this is a vibration analysis. And the graph on the left is the time data, and the graph on the right is the analysis. It's called a shock spectrum. Well, the code to do this, you know, is thousands of lines, but first search I did, boom, it pops up NDAC, open source Python library. And this was the code to do it. And how many lines is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 lines of code to do this analysis out of the box. It's so Python is really amazing. It's got superpowers in this area. And after this course, you'll be able to do this. You'll be able to do something like this easily. So we're doing Mondays and Wednesdays, starting October 23, 6 p.m. Central. Our content's going to be delivered on NetAcad, the Cisco program, and you'll get an invitation to join there. And if you already have a NetAcad account, send me that email and I can plug that one in. And then I like to end with this slide. This was a student that was in a class 6 or 9 months ago, Jonna. And in week 4 or 5, she took her Python skills and she wrote this script that parsed out data from a satellite, and we helped her with it in one of our labs. And in week 7, she pops up and says, "Oh, I got promoted." This is exactly what I love to see. Just good industry application of these skills. That's it for me.
Wow, that's awesome. Good for Jana. That's amazing. Thanks so much for sharing that, Dave.
You're welcome.
So another popular course that students frequently ask us about is Security Plus. Everybody wants their Security Plus certification. That's something that industry can look for, and we have our instructor for Security Plus. That's going to be on Monday and Wednesday evenings. Glenn, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, good evening. Thanks, Amber. So of all the certs, this is a very popular one. I'm so happy to provide the information. A retired Coast Guard. I've been in the industry for the last 7 years. And so I speak cybersecurity every day as an industry consultant. And so for the students taking this course, I think the benefits are that you get the foundations of the 5 domains that CompTIA wants you to understand in Security Plus. But there's one note. CompTIA is actually changing their domain starting November. And so one of the unique things that I have with CWCT is giving you looks as to what's being offered today, and also insight what CompTIA is expecting from the exam starting next summer as a requirement. And so one of the things I've learned over the past year, students really need to have the basics of A+, and having that network foundations is really required, I think, and necessary to do well in this course. And like the time commitments, there are labs, there are quizzes, there is a final exam. So we're pretty rigorous every week. And one of the things that I think beneficial to the students is the group learning. Every week, twice a week, those environments, those learning opportunities to study as a group, I think has really propelled the students that I've been able to mentor over the past year. But I look forward to the students coming into the course, and thank you, Amber, for your time.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Glenn. And flip-flop of Security Plus. Then Cyber Ops is another popular course certification that people look for as well. And we have one of our instructors, Valerie, is here tonight. And Valerie has to run off to class. So I want to introduce her quick before she has to run off to class. Valerie, would you like to say hi?
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited for our new class that'll start on the 23rd. And I hope that you are ready to have some fun. This class, you learn so many great things. It is a blast. Even while you're doing the work, you're having fun. We'll do a lot of labs together also, and we will learn what cyber analysts do in a cyber ops center. So I am excited for each of you in the program and hope to see you on Tuesday.
You're correct.
24th?
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yep.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good class.
Thanks.
And I know Herman popped back in. Herman, are you ready to say hi about your Linux class, or are you still having tech issues?
Let's hope not. Let's really just hope not.
So Herman's our Tuesday and Thursday evening instructor for Linux. Go take it away, Herman.
Okay, thank you very much. I assume well, I'm not quite sure. I assume that everybody's given that I'm the last one for Linux, so I don't want to repeat everything that's been said for everybody. But we're doing LPIC and the Linux Professional Institute, and which is very good. It's very interesting, and all I can say is practice, 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 because it's all about getting used to working in a command line environment, which is, well, it's not difficult. It's just a little different, and just something to get used to. So other than that, Tuesdays and Thursdays, ready to have fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Herman. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
And then going back to cyber ops, so we met Valerie Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those of you who might have Monday and Wednesday class, Professor Alf is here. Alf, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Amber.
Yeah.
Looking forward to working with you guys. As Valerie said, it is an exciting class. A lot of work to do. How I like to operate the class is with a flipped modality, which might be a little different from what you're used to in a traditional classroom setting. But what I have, I've seen some good results from that. This is one of our students who came through in a recent cohort and had some good feedback from him. He went ahead and passed his cyber ops, so real proud of him. What I'll ask of you guys is that you read ahead of class, and then what we'll do is use the labs as a learning opportunity, and we'll do some extra sharing as well, and then you'll bring any questions that you have about the content. I've had a lot of success with that, especially since our college shifted to 8-week courses. There's just so much to try to cram in from a traditional semester down to 8 weeks. This is what we've come up with, and I've seen some pretty good success with that. So looking forward to working with everybody. I saw a question in the chat about exams. We'll have exams and we want everybody to pass, but the goal is for you guys, if you so choose, to finish the course and then go past the cyber ops. On our configure side of the house, those certifications really are the currency of the field. So we'll talk more about it, but it's one of the lower priced certs. So if you earn the discount in our course, then maybe what you do is take that voucher that the CWCT program will give you and spend it on a more expensive cert, because you only get 3 if unless that's changed. We can talk more strategy about that when we see you on Mondays and Wednesdays starting the 23rd.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Alf. Yep. And then now with our new funding, we only get the 1 cert. So great suggestion about using your voucher wisely for your most expensive certification. Very good. And then speaking of one of the more expensive certifications, those of you in the system admin track, a course that you're going to have the opportunity to take will be the ethical hacking course, which would be the CEH certification. And Professor Anthony Ford is with us tonight, and I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you about the class.
Hi, I'm Anthony Ford. I'm the instructor for ethical hacking. This will actually be the 8th time that I've taught this particular class through the CWCT. I also teach it on campus. I think I've done it there like 8 times as well. So a lot of different material. There's a ton of material in this class, and I keep debating with myself about different ways to be able to teach this. So we'll see what we end up doing. There's a series of labs in here. I also tend to enhance the labs with a series of my own that I do weeks 6 and 7. I also walk through a couple of different hacking techniques, if you will, of going after a couple of black boxes. One of them is black box. The other one is a whole bunch of different ways of being able to pull passwords from systems. So that's, trying to give you a little bit of a practical approach to this, as well as the massive amount of theoretical that I'm going to throw at you. So that's it for me.
I'm terrified. No, just kidding. Thank you.
You should be.
I
Yes.
should be. Thank you so much. And then the final course, I think the final instructor that I have here tonight, for those of you who are in the digital forensics class or track, one of the classes that you'll be taking is the digital forensics investigation, which is again one of the more pricier certifications. And your instructor, John Lawrence, is here tonight to talk a little bit about that. John, you want to take it away?
Sure. Hi, my name is John Lawrence. I am teaching CHFI. I've been teaching it since the start of the program. For those who don't know basically what CHFI is, it's really a crossover of a bunch of different certs. It crosses into CEH, Certified Ethical Hacking. It crosses into risk management, and it helps build investigative skills. We will be covering different types of forensics. We'll be covering computer forensics. We'll be covering a crossover into Linux. And in reality, it's all about critical thinking. It helps build investigative skills. We will get a presentation on OSINT, which is open source intelligence. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, John. So hopefully now that you've got to hear a little bit about the courses, you got an idea of what to expect and will be as successful as possible in all of these classes. I just want to double check any faculty that popped in while we were introducing that I did not introduce before I give it over to Chrissy. Because once I give it over to Chrissy, I'm never going to get it back. All right, Chrissy, whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Amber. I am going to share my screen again. I'm not going to put my camera on though, because I want you guys to really focus on what's on the screen and not me talking with my hands like I know I do. Okay, so this part, we're going to talk about 2 big pieces of technology. Oops. Start my timer here. 2 big pieces of technology you will be using as a participant in this program. You've actually already used both of these pieces when you went through your application process. They are My Ivy and Ivy Learn are the 2 pieces that I'm going to talk about. So you actually used both of those when you were accessing your assessments, your email, things like that. So hopefully some of this is a review, but some of it will be very specific and how you're going to utilize it for your class. So tonight we'll be looking at My Ivy, which is your student portal, as well as Ivy Learn, which is how you're going to access your courses for your virtual lectures, your coursework, your syllabus, etc. Okay, so there are several different ways to get to both My Ivy and Ivy Learn. The first is through the main Ivy Tech website. So Steve O kind of talked about how we are a consortium of the 4 different universities. However, all of your stuff for the program, your coursework, your assessments is through specifically the Ivy Tech systems. We had to choose one. Ivy Tech was the winner. Okay. So if you go to the main Ivy Tech website, which is just ivytech.edu, you will see the link to both My Ivy and Ivy Learn at the top. So that is one way to get to it. The other way to get to My Ivy is to bookmark the main page or the web address, which is myiv.ivytech.edu. So you could bookmark that so it will go directly to it. There's also, when we get to Ivy Learn, I'll talk about that. You will want to log in. Now, mine will automatically log in because I thought it was going to automatically log in. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I already have my 2-factor authentication set up, so mine should already automatically log in. You will probably have to put your username and password. I know recently we switched to a Microsoft authentication that you have to set up. You cannot reset your password if you have not set up that Microsoft authentication. If you ever have an issue where you are locked out of your account, you need to contact the actual IT help desk. The phone number for that is 1-888 Ivy Line, IVYLINE. Amber, if you could throw that in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. When you call the IT help desk, you need to have both your C number and your Ivy Tech email address. They may tell you they can't find you in the system. You have to tell them that you are a non-credit student. For some reason, they have a hard time finding you guys when you call. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a separate system, but you were given your C number and your Ivy Tech email address, like one of the very first emails I sent you with the directions to set up your My Ivy account. Those are in there. It is very important that you keep that email in a safe place, or if you have misplaced it and you can get into your My Ivy account right now, that information is here at the top. Write that down somewhere, keep it safe in case you ever need it, because you also need it when you go to register for classes. Okay. So this is My Ivy. Again, this is your student portal. And this is where you can access a lot of the other things. Okay. So let me figure out where I am here. So your My Ivy is going to look a little different than mine because mine is obviously a staff version, but it's a lot of the same concept. Okay. So within My Ivy, you will want to become familiar with Ivy Learn as well as your student email. Those are 2 big pieces that you're going to need to access as a part of this program. Okay. Some of the other links are not going to work for you because you are a non-credit student in a training program. For example, if you click on My Schedule here under My Info, you are not going to get your schedule for this program because the schedule is only for 4 credit classes and you are in non-credit classes. Okay. Your registration confirmation schedule was sent to you or will be sent to you if you just registered via email. That's why you get an email from me that confirms you are now registered in these courses. These are the days and times, the CRN, all that information. If you did not get that email, it's either we haven't processed your registration yet, or it might be in your spam folder. Okay. So some of these, if you click on them, you're not going to have to deal with financial aid. You're not going to have to deal with an account balance. So some of this stuff is just not going to pertain to you. Really, the 2 big pieces that you need to know are Ivy Learn and your email. Now, there may be some things that you have access to because you have a C number and Ivy Tech email address. I know there's some LinkedIn Learning stuff on here you can access free as a quote Ivy Tech student, things like that. But I'm just going to go over your Ivy Learn and email today. Our email is now run through Outlook. It used to be run through Gmail. They changed that in January. So the easiest way to get to your email is here at the top where it says, hi, insert your name here. There's an email icon there. Simply just click on that. That will take you to your Ivy Tech Outlook email. Okay. Once you get that set up, you should then be able to set up the Outlook app on your phone. Now, if you already have email through Outlook, say through work, personal, you might need to add an account so that you could check both of those easily. You should be able to Google how to do that. I used to be able to know how to do it with Gmail, but since we don't use Gmail anymore, I can't easily tell you how to do it with Outlook. You should be able to just Google how to add a second account in Outlook so you can easily transition between your first account and your Ivy Tech account. You need to be checking your Ivy Tech email on a regular basis, okay? Because you are technically in the system as an Ivy Tech student, you are protected by student privacy laws called FERPA. That means that any communication dealing with your student record needs to be sent through your Ivy Tech email, okay? So that's why your registration was only sent to your Ivy Tech email. That is dealing with your student educational record, okay? If you email us, we can much better address things if you are sending it through your Ivy Tech email. Please use that Ivy Tech email and check it on a regular basis so that you do not miss anything important, okay? Some things we will send to your personal. For example, we're announcing one of our fireside chats. We tend to send that to both because that is not strictly related to your educational record, just so you have a higher likelihood of getting that information. But there is some information we will send only to your Ivy Tech email, and that is it. It is also very important that you check your spam folder. I think in Outlook, it's actually called clutter. For some reason, because you might be getting an email from PNW that has an attachment, like from Amber, or if you are assigned to Fatima for UNC North Carolina, Charlotte, and especially if they have attachments, for some reason, it might send some of our emails to your spam clutter folder, okay? So please make sure you are checking that clutter folder on a regular basis as well. That is really important, okay? So that is a big piece, is your Ivy Tech email, how to get onto my Ivy. Now, the other piece, and what you've all been waiting for, is how exactly do you complete your virtual classes? Okay, how do you access your Zoom for your class? How do you access the recording for Zoom? That is what I'm going to go over next. That is all going to be through Ivy Learn, okay? Ivy Learn is the Ivy Tech's online course system. Our I forget the initials now, but LMS, Learning Management System, I think that's what it stands for, I think, okay? Ivy Learn, we call it Ivy Learn. It is actually Canvas, is what the actual company is. It's going to be very similar if you've done anything through Blackboard, Brightspace, Canvas. Those are all LMS systems, okay? You will find at Ivy Tech, we call things by different names. Almost always it has the word Ivy in it, okay? So Ivy Learn / Canvas is what we're going to talk about next, okay? Ivy Learn should be here in your quick links on your My Ivy account. If you set it up as a favorite, it should be over here in your favorites. but it should be here in your quick links. If it is not, what I highly recommend is here in the search bar at the top, you can just type in Ivy Learn. Maybe. Oh, it's probably, oh, it's just being slow. Hang on. And it should, well, no, it's not going to want to cooperate. If you go here to see all in your quick links, that's another way you can get to it. This is, again, I will have different things because I am a staff member, but these are in alphabetical order. You can just find Ivy Learn. Click the little heart next to it. That will add it to your favorites. Here again is where you can find your LinkedIn Learning. Again, that is free to you as an Ivy Tech student. And there may be some other resources in here as well that you might be able to still access. But I highly suggest you add that as a favorite, Ivy Learn, if it is not in your quick links, okay? So if we go into Ivy Learn, you can also go directly, it's ivylearn.ivytech.edu if you want to just bookmark that, or again, you can get to it through the main Ivy Tech website as well. Now, when you are in Ivy Learn, there may be some general announcements that just go to all Ivy Tech students, including non-credit students. So if it looks like we will not post things in here as the CWCT program, but you may see some stuff here at Ivy Tech in general. Most of the time, they are not going to pertain to you, and you can just ignore them unless it's telling you like, Canvas is going to be down during this certain time kind of thing. Okay. One of the first things I want to point out is you will see in your Ivy Learn, there is an inbox menu item here. I need to be very clear. This is not the same thing as your student email. This is not the same thing as your ivytech.edu email. Okay. What this is this is a way to directly communicate with your instructors so that if you don't want to like open your email, that kind of thing, you can go through here. Okay. So in other words, me as a program manager, you cannot email me through the inbox in Ivy Learn because I am not associated with one of your classes, okay? So essentially, let's say you want to email one of your instructors, you would compose a message, you would select the course, your course would be listed here. I'm not going to have one because I'm not in any courses. And then it will automatically bring up like your instructor as well as your classmates. Okay. You click on the instructor's name, you can send them a message, it gets sent to the instructor. Okay. They can then send a message back to you within Ivy Learn. So you're really communicating within the class itself rather than through Outlook. But again, you cannot email anybody that's not associated with the class. You will not receive emails here that are not associated with the class. Okay. So this does not get used a super huge amount, but I wanted to let you know the difference between the inbox and your Ivy Tech email. Okay. Now, the big piece is how do you actually get to your courses? Okay. When you first enter, you will see a dashboard. Okay. Your course can either be listed on the dashboard or you might have to go to courses, the courses menu item. And if it's not listed here in published courses, you may have to click here on all courses for you to be able to find it. Okay. Now, here is a very, very important piece. Okay. Courses will not appear in Ivy Learn until about 2 days before your first class session. Okay. So if you have a Monday, Wednesday class, that class is probably not going to appear until October 21st, that Saturday. It might be on there Friday. It's kind of like 48 to 30 or 48 to 2 to 3 days beforehand. Okay. To be safe, October, that Saturday. Okay. If you're in a Tuesday, Thursday class, your class should pop up October 22nd. Okay. If you are in a Saturday, Sunday course, we only have one, it's the IoT course. None of you should be in it because you haven't met the prereqs. But if you are ever in a Saturday, Sunday course, that's at the end of, like, our sessions always start on a Monday. Okay. So there's a whole week of classes before the Saturday, Sunday class starts. So that will not pop up until that Thursday. So I think it's October 26th for a Saturday, Sunday course. Again, we only have the IoT. We don't have Saturday, Sunday courses a lot. We find students just don't pass them. So we're starting to kind of take them out of our scheduling. Okay. So what does this mean for you? This means if you go into Ivy Learn right now, you are not going to see your classes. Okay. Because it is not 2 days before your classes start. Okay. That is why we send you your schedule. If you received a schedule and the class, whatever classes are in that confirmation email, those are the classes you are registered in. Okay. I double check registration. Okay. If it's listed in your confirmation email, you are registered in it. Okay. Which means that it will show up typically 2 days before it starts. Okay. If it is 2 days before it starts and you go in here and you don't see your class, more than likely it is because the instructor has not published it yet. Okay. You will see if we go back to our dashboard. Okay. You will see here, there's a list of published courses and there is a list of unpublished courses. Okay. All this means is that your instructor just hasn't quite finalized the class and has not published it for your viewing yet. Okay. Please give them up until the class starts to do this. Okay. Yes, I know you guys are excited. Yes, I know you're ready to get started. Give your instructor time. Your class technically doesn't start until the Monday or the Tuesday. The class should be published by that time. Okay. The other way to see if it's published or not, if you go into that courses menu item, again, it'll either list published courses or unpublished, so you can see if it's listed there. Or again, if you click on all courses, this last column will tell you if it is published or if it is unpublished. If it is, again, if it's not published, please just give your instructor time until the class starts for it to be published. Okay. So how does your class actually look once it's published? Okay. Again, you're not going to be able to see this until 2 days before your first class session. Okay. So I'm going to show you one of my past classes. Hopefully I can still access it. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of use a Linux class I took back in 2020. So it was a long time ago, okay? And mine was a 4-credit class, so it was not a CWCT class, but this will give you a general idea of how it will look, okay? Simply, you'll click on the class, and it will take you to home. There could be announcements. Typically, your instructor will post a beginning announcement at the beginning of the class. Many times we ask them to also send you an email. the weekend before classes starts. Okay. So you may get an email from your instructors. That doesn't necessarily mean the class is good and ready to go on Ivy Learn, but they're just kind of introducing themselves, giving you information, things like that. Now so you will see once you're in the course, you will see on the left-hand side, there's a menu for the course itself. Okay. You need to make sure you're reading the course announcements. This could be where very important things are brought to you. Okay. You'll carefully want to read the syllabus. This is where your instructor's contact information should be, as well as their contact information, their instructors, their supervisor's contact information if you're having issues, things like that. Okay. So it's really important that you read the syllabus. Again, if you go into the course before it even starts, even if the course is published, the instructor may not have finalized the syllabus and may be still working on it. Okay. Again, give them time until the first day of class. Be patient. We ask you, please be patient. Okay. The modules tab, now you're probably not going to find a super huge amount of things in the modules tab. And this is because a lot of your lab work is going to be done in another program. So we tend to use NDG NetLab and Cisco NetAcad. We also used to use Red Hat for Linux. We do not use that anymore. Okay. So more than likely, you are going to be provided instructions on how to access those things either in the first day of class. Well, in the first day of class, the instructor might provide you with some instruction in that email they send you that weekend before, but it tends to be in those resources that it will give you your due dates and you will actually do your module, your weekly assignments. Okay. Still go into modules, see what's in there. There may be readings, things like that. Okay. One of the things I am going to mention about NetLab and NetAcad. Okay. You will more than likely get an email before classes start saying, an account has been created for you in Cisco NetAcad. Okay. Please do this. Okay. Please, please, please wait until your first day of class before you do anything. Okay. It never fails that there is something missing from that is explained to you in that first class to allow you to actually create the account correctly. Okay. Especially in the Linux. Okay. Because we're paying for a code for you to access it. If you do not put that code correctly in just right and link it so that it links to the class directly, we cannot your instructor cannot check your work then, and you're going to be responsible for paying that $30 for a new code. Okay. If you get an email for anything for NetLab or Cisco NetAcad before the courses start, please wait until your first day of class before you do anything with those. Okay. The instructor will explain it in class. If you cannot attend the live lecture, it will be where you can get it as the recording. Okay. Very important to remember. Okay. Your grades are probably not going to be kept in Ivy Learn. They are probably going to be kept in those other resources. If it uses NetAcad or NetLab, it's probably going to be used in that. If it doesn't use one of those, then yes, it's probably going to be in Ivy Learn. Okay. So there's just a couple different places that you're going to be utilizing. All of it will be explained to you that first day of class. Okay. But to get to your Zoom lecture, to even know where to even start, that is through Ivy Learn. We make it really easy for you. Okay. In the class, in the menu item, probably towards the bottom, it might be in a different order, there is a Zoom link. Okay. All you simply have to do is click on Zoom. And that will take you to the Zoom for that class. Okay. More than likely you will have 3 tabs. You have upcoming meetings, you will have previous meetings, and you will have cloud recordings. Okay. This is a past class of mine. So obviously I do not have any upcoming meetings. I took this class back in 2020. Okay. But your instructor should have all of the upcoming course meetings that will be upcoming for your class. There should then be like a link that says like enter, or a link you click on to go into that particular Zoom for that class. Okay. Once the class is done, you can access the recordings in one of 2 places. It will either be under previous meetings. The reason I do not have anything listed is because it has been more than 90 days since I've taken this class. Okay. It's been 3 years. Okay. So, but more than likely, because you are in the class at that time, once a meeting is done, it will be listed under previous meetings, where you will click on the recording link that you can go in and watch the recording. Or your instructor may record to the cloud, okay, which should be available for quite a bit after you take the class. So you can see here, here's all the lessons or the classes that my class had, and I can click on any of these to open the cloud recording to watch it, okay? If there are issues with a recording, typically your instructor can let you know, or if there's let's say a recording's not coming up, please let your instructor know as soon as possible. They may or may not be able to get you the recording. It kind of just depends on what the issue was as to why the recording did not happen. It's technology. Sometimes things happen, it doesn't get recorded for some reason, and it's not fun. Okay. Sometimes we can resolve it. Sometimes we can't, unfortunately, but most of the issues that happen, we can resolve with the recordings, and you should have no issues watching the recordings if you cannot attend the live lectures. Or if even you can attend the live lectures and you miss something, you want to go back and rewatch something, you should be able to go back into these recordings to do so. Okay. If on your first day under upcoming meetings, if there aren't any upcoming meetings listed, look somewhere else for the link. Number 1, it can be in the announcements. Number 2, it could be in the syllabus. Number 3, it could be in the email. If the instructor emailed you the weekend before, it could be there. So if it is not listed in the upcoming meetings, look in those other places to see if maybe they just haven't gotten it here yet, but it is more than likely in the announcements, in the syllabus, or in the email that they send. Could be in all 3. Okay. One of the things to remember, when these classes happen at 6 p.m. Central, your program managers, at least Amber and myself, are, well, and Fatima as well, we're not in the office. So if there are issues logging on that first day, you need to contact your instructor. Okay. Remember, they are also teaching at that moment. They may not see the email come through or the message come through. If you cannot get on that first day, there's some issues. You can't find the Zoom link. Just remember, you can watch the recording afterwards if you don't hear back. So what that means essentially, you know, you can email me saying, hey, I can't find the Zoom meeting. I'm not going to be getting back to you until the next day because I'm not in the office. Okay. And then I already mentioned, and this is my last thing, I already mentioned Ivy Learn is powered by, it's Canvas is the actual company. There is a Canvas app that you can set up. You would use your Ivy Tech information. But because a lot of your stuff is done in NetAcad and NetLab, you're probably not going to be able to do much with it, but it is a good place to message your instructor, to see due dates, to see your syllabus for due dates, things like that. So we do recommend downloading that Canvas app. But again, you're going to need to be able to do some of the stuff on an actual computer itself. All right, that's my part. Amber, were there any questions that did not get answered in the chat?
Nope, everything looks good.
All right, I am done then.
Awesome. Thank you, Chrissy. So that was a lot of information. And so this was recorded for good reason. So you can watch this recording and walk through this stuff later with Chrissy as well. And hopefully you were taking some notes and kind of plugging along while she was going through everything. So the next part of the orientation tonight is we have the primary instructors there, PIs, the faculty who put together the curriculum for each of your programs. They are going to talk about the 3 different tracks and the certifications associated with it. So really pay attention during this time to make certain that you pick the right track for you. And so I'm going to turn it over to our first PI, Dr. Michael Tu. He's going to talk about the digital forensics track.
Hey, thank you, Amber. I'm trying to, yeah. Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Tu. I'm the PI for this CWCT program. And today I will just briefly talk about the one of the track is the digital forensic track. This forensic is one of my expertise area. So I think you guys, if you want to know in the past, you can just go to this CWCT site, right? Okay. So and then you can just click on this training paths. Then you should have this 3 paths, right? Okay. So like the AI track, digital forensic track, and admin track. Okay. So let's go to the forensic track. So for each of the track, we will have 6 courses, right? So they need to take 6 courses, 3 core courses that are required by all the 3 tracks, and 3 track specific courses. Okay. So like forensics, we have this A+, security plus, and cyber ops. So I believe the instructor has all talking about this course. So I will just briefly go through this course, content and topics. And in Linux, I will need Dr. Xie to talk about this more. And forensics, I will mainly talk about forensic and another forensic course I'm going to teach this session. So A+. So I already had this kind of like, the modules, kind of like a mass shell, okay, at the PNW side. So, A+ basically is just talking about the computers, right? Computer components, hardware, network setup, connections, mobile, how we connect to mobile devices, right? And one of the most important is how to set up the Windows operating systems, right? And file systems. So then we can use the computers. And then config the account manager, right? Management, configuration and management, who can use the computers, right? And the security part of that, how we make sure the disk, right, is encrypted. So even you lost the computer, you still be able to make sure your data will not be leaked. And the security policies, firewalls, right? You will not be a victim of the security hacking, right? Talking about we are security people, right? Okay, so that's about the A+ course. And the next course is I believe it's the security plus course, right? And I think this one's a Cisco SecOps. Suppose I should talk about the security plus first, okay? So security plus is the other course everybody needs to take. So this course we're talking about the fundamental topics about cybersecurity, like security principles, right? Like threats, attacks, and vulnerability. Those are very, very basic concepts. And then we were talking about a lot about the security, like application security, web security, wireless security. We were talking about like basic cryptography, right? The encryption, decryption keys, cloud security, and penetration testing. Basically is, a little bit about ASIC hacking. You will have a CEH course to work on this. But anyway, this course we're talking about some basic process and some hands-on as well. Okay, so you will have those hands-on, then you will have in-depth hands-on at the CEH course. Then we will have the network hardening, right? So, and make sure your systems and network are secure, right? And one of the most important is account, right? That's the access control. Okay, access control. So make sure you users, account are secure, right? And your keys are, secret, keep as confidential, right? Not compromised. And then we were talking about network security and the mobile device security as well. And we were, briefly talking about the forensics, very briefly. Okay, not everybody will take a forensic course, right? Okay, so you will have a kind of a taste about the forensic investigation. Then the last piece is about risk management. Okay, so this is more about the concept and the knowledge. And if the instructor, depends on instructor, right? The instructor may talk about the case study. That would be very, very helpful. Okay, so we have the 6 ops. So I think our instructor already talked a lot, right? Basically, this is a hands-on class. I don't know how much of lecture will be given, but this is very, very intensive in hands-on. So you all have like maybe 30 labs or whatever, depends on the instructor, right? Many labs available. So you can see this is all about the hands-on, like process, right? Examine the Windows registry, using PowerShell, Linux, right? Wireshark things, social engineering, DNS hacking, and MySQL, which is probably using SQL injection, right? And the firewall and the encryption, decryption, and ideas. So those are all hands-on labs. So that's very hands-on. And then we will have the, I think John the instructor has already talked about this, CHA5, which is digital forensic investigation. So this course will cover the very basic about the forensic process, right? The procedures, evidence rules, all those things. And then we were talking about some very basic investigation tools and techniques, right? Like we were using autopsy, right? And we will use, it will go through the like Windows file system forensics, registry forensics, and the decryption and encryption a little bit. And so, it will basically go through the, fundamentals. So the next course is actually the Windows forensics, right? So the Windows computer forensic, we call computer forensics, okay? So this course will actually is Windows forensic go in depth with the Windows forensics like file systems. We will look at the maybe a hacks even, right? Okay, so and binary, whatever, but anyway, it will just go through those concepts a little bit hands-on. And then we were talking about the Windows registry. There are lots of labs there. And then we will go through the Windows operating system forensics, as well as the Microsoft applications, right? So those applications like Word, right, spreadsheet, what type of evidence we could find there. And the last part, we probably will go through the, well, I kind of like get myself forget about that. But anyway, so the last, so then after we cover all this, this Windows forensic part, okay, of course, the last part is internet forensic, right? Windows browser, the browser forensics, IE and Edge, right? And Firefox, something like that, okay? So this are the course for this track, digital forensic track. And there will be a new course. It's not new, but we have waited for a long time. It's about mobile forensics, right? Okay, I know probably not for the new participant. Whenever you have taken this, maybe one of the forensic course like the 255 course, CHA5 course, then probably you can take that course. Okay, so it's mobile forensics. basically we're talking about the IoT forensics, right? And then we're talking about the cell phone forensics, Android systems, and iPhones, right? So we were also talking about those like storage. How can we find what are the evidence stored in those databases, right? It's called the SQLite database, right? And how we find those in the configuration file, and that's called BPDs, whatever, right? So and then of course many other system checks, logs. Okay, so those are all about this track, and the rest of the time I will tend to which one, Frina or Dr. Xie, right? I'll go back to Amber probably. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you, Dr. Tu. For Rena, Dr. Xie, who would like to go next? Any preference? It looks like Farina's up.
All right. I'm okay. But Frida, if you want to go first, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So, like Dr. Tu discussed about the, I'll just try to open this one. So the track I will share with you is the AI track for cybersecurity, artificial intelligence. It's the second track. And as Dr. Tu mentioned about the first 3 core courses, they are common between the two, all 3 tracks basically. There is A+, Security+, and CyberOps. So I'll focus more on these core or specialized courses in this track are Python Essentials. That covers all the hands-on experience your labs will work on, either Python notebook or Python, basically where you will be writing your code, compiling it, and running. So your idea of this course is it's a prerequisite for the other 2 courses, that is AI and IoT and hardware security. So it's one of the priority that if you can take Python along with your core courses, it will help you to schedule your other sessions. Another thing which has been done in the past, and of course it's something which we discuss periodically when to offer, but historically AI and IoT security has been alternatively offered. So this is something which you would like to discuss with your program managers, how to make use of your sessions when you want to graduate. So if you can take Python along with your core courses, that can help you in scheduling. Now, a little bit about the courses. This is the link where you can go through. This is the CWCT course description where you can read more about all the coursework that you are expected to complete. So Python, it discusses what is the skill set you will complete once you take this course. So you will be able to write your own functions, procedures, make use of the objects like lists, and search algorithms like sort and search algorithms. You will be able to write your own code for that, and of course you will write the code and learn more about the packages which are available in Python that will be used for cybersecurity. So once you have a good solid foundation of Python programming, and of course we don't expect students to have programming background, so this course is a basic course in which the expectation is that you all will learn the programming with some basic, if you have, that is a plus, but that is kept in mind that some of the students don't have a programming background. So this is a skill which industry has a high demand. So that is why we picked Python over other languages like C and Java. There's a lot of job market for Java as well. So once you learn Python, maybe this is something which, if you enjoy programming, you may look into that on your own as well. The other specialized courses include machine learning for cybersecurity, which is CWCT 245, where you learn about supervised learning, unsupervised learning, deep learning, classification, SVM. So it is an advanced class, so you will expect a lot of learning curve in this course, and it is a little bit different from the other courses because of how it's organized. And the objective is really to give you holistic view of what AI is. A quick heads up, PIs are also revisiting some of the course modules. So by the time you take the course, you will see some modifications as well. The last course I'll talk about is the IoT and hardware security. That is basically a very interesting course. It's very unique, and keeping it in mind that this is like a national need, you probably have been hearing all these CHIP Act and other, things in the news. There's a lot of funding associated. The President of the United States is very concerned about hardware security. So you see a lot of opportunities in terms of jobs. So what we see is we don't have a mix of, students or the skill sets who know about cybersecurity and as well as hardware security. So this is kind of an effort in this program in which you are the people who basically are the skills needed by the, at the national level. So this course really integrates the knowledge that you have gained from the other courses in terms of software security, application security, ethical hacking, security plus, and try to integrate it with hardware security. So this is from perspective IoT, the resource constrained devices, the wearable devices, and looks into beyond software. So we look into hardware, physical, embedded. So this is a very interesting course. That is also part of your AI track. So Amber, I'll stop here. Is there any? If there is any question, I can answer. Otherwise, yeah. Is there a question?
I don't see any in chat right now, but if anybody has any questions for Dr. Sakib, please put it in chat and she will try to respond to it. And then our last presenter is going to be for the system admin track, and that's Dr. Shi. Dr. Shi, would you like to take it away?
Hey, Amber, sorry about that. Actually, just now I was a colleague just stopped by, talked to me. So, yeah. So let me share my stuff.
Well, Dr. Shi's getting his stuff pulled up. After hearing the presentations, if you realize maybe you picked the wrong track, please reach out to Chrissy to make any switches. But okay, I'll let Dr. Shi go now.
Okay, thank you, Amber. Yeah, so here I just give you a very high-level overview of their system administration track. So in this track, we still have 3 common core courses on this 3 CompTIA A+, Security Plus, and Cisco Cyber Ops. So you are already familiar with that. Then for this system administration track, we have 3 courses, kind of specialized courses. The first is Linux system administration. Actually, this course also, I think, is also shared with the digital forensic track. So we have seen many people, many trainees have taken this course. And another one is the ethical hacking. That is pretty fundamental and will essentially very important for this track. So give you a pretty comprehensive knowledge about the needed skills for administration. And the last one, the cloud system administration, we have offered it multiple times in the past. But we were not offering this one in the incoming session, just because there are some switching we need to do. Okay, so regarding the 3 specialized courses, I want to mention that the first, for this Linux system administration, previously we used the Red Hat Linux training courses to as a main content. So that basically help the students to better prepared for the Red Hat system administration certification exam. But now we switch to their more kind of brand or vendor dependent training content, which essentially is done through the here NDG Linux 1. This is actually the actual content is provided by Cisco Networking Academy, collaborating with NDG. But this Linux NDG Linux is not specific for any Linux distribution. So it's more broad, more comprehensive. And let me just show you what it covered. So frankly, this is just created a couple of minutes ago. I created this course on their Netcat to show you what the content is. So we see that I think 8 modules, I believe, for 8 weeks. So the first one is basic kind of introduction, just to provide some general background for the course. And then we start with the basic file management, and then with the editing, text editing, which covers, see that, for example, this regular expressions, that's very useful for administration on any platform. And then we move to advanced file management. So certainly we will talk more about like the processes, like the archive, those commands that essentially manipulate and compress, decompress files, and as well as file permissions. Then we move to the system part administration, like the beginning. And partitioning. Partitioning is dealing with the storage. So how you're gonna create multiple one or multiple partitions using the Linux commands. And again, this we not only dealing with the files, but also file systems. So here, you know that on Linux we can support multiple file system at the same time. So you definitely want to know that. Actually, this is a big part for the day-to-day management on the large systems. And last module is the system software. So this is a Linux 1, okay? So we also have Linux 2, but the Netcat provide Linux 2 as a more advanced, but it's not offered through this course, okay? So one particular thing you need to keep in mind is since we pay essentially the NDG for this course, you can see that essentially we pay this amount for each student, and that it's a little bit tricky for this kind of payment. So you have to be very careful, follow the instruction from your instructor, because that can have seen several cases that a student kind of messed up their account and then lost the access. So we don't want this problem happen again. So be very careful on this. Just to follow the instruction from the instructor. If you have any questions before you do anything, just seek the instructor to clarify or ask about what you should do. Okay, and then that's about the Linux. I spend too much time, but I think that's very important. Then the next is about the ethical hacking. For ethical hacking, essentially, the content is provided through the EC Council CEH certified ethical hacking. So that basically. Sorry about that. My sound always interrupts. So yeah, essentially after you taking this course, you should be well prepared for essentially taking this EC Council CH examination. So I won't be able to expand on that. The last one is under this cloud system administration. Previously, we were using Linux, Red Hat based OpenStack course materials. However, we won't be able to use that anymore. So we are currently developing our own materials. So essentially the lab materials. So hopefully we can offer it pretty soon, for example, next spring. So just to give you a general idea what we offer previously. So here is the content we covered in that system, the cloud administration course. So you can see that first we introduce the OpenStack platform, then talking about the basic, very fundamental concepts about this launching instance, the organizing people resources, and then managing the Linux networks, how to launch an internal instance, and talk about the storage, including the block storage and object storage. Then we essentially centered on the instance. So most of the labs are basically focusing on those. And we also introduced several case studies, like how you deploy some services on the cloud network. Okay, so hopefully in early spring we will be able to offer it again. But yeah, for the upcoming one, we won't be able to offer this. Okay, so that's pretty much the basic. If you want to know more detail, yeah, just feel free to check with me or with the Amber and other supporting staff members. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Shi. Appreciate that. Juggling family and work. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. And so thanks everybody for joining us tonight. I'm just going to let Steve do one quick announcement before we sign off for the evening. So Steve.
We are over time. I just literally dropped in the chat. Check your email on November 8th. We're going to have a fireside chat, a little homage to FDR, one of my favorites. And these are kind of standalone. We have one representative come out. It's a networking opportunity. It might be a job opportunity, and it's definitely an opportunity to learn something about resources in terms of transitioning into cyber. Our career fair will be in December. More details to come. But again, we have these every other month. We have a career fair, and every other month we do a fireside chat, with the exception of this month. But we've all had a lot going on. But please reach out to us. Before I let Amber wrap it up, all of us at the CWCT program, we're here to help you. We have other jobs. We like doing this because we believe in the idea of cybersecurity, and for especially veterans and first responders. So please just reach out to us if you want something. None of us are experts at anything, but each of us has an area that we're really good at. So feel free to take advantage of that, because we have the same mission you all do. Amber, feel free to wrap it up, and thank you all for taking the time tonight, even though we went over a little bit.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Enjoy your evening. If you have any questions, reach out through email. All right, I'm going to stop recording.
Okay, great.